Have you ever wondered who the patron saint of music is? The one whose name is synonymous with heavenly melodies and unwavering faith. Today, we journey back in time to ancient Rome to uncover the incredible story of Saint Cecilia, a figure shrouded in legend, whose life sings a song of courage, devotion, and divine inspiration. Her story isn't just about music. It's a powerful tale of a young woman who stood firm in her beliefs against all odds, inspiring countless artists, composers, and faithful souls for nearly 2 millennia. From a secret vow to a miraculous survival, her life is more dramatic than any opera. So, plug in your headphones, turn up the volume, and let's explore the captivating legacy of Saint Cecilia. Our story begins in Rome, during the 2nd or 3rd century, a time when being a Christian was a dangerous, often fatal, choice. In a wealthy and noble Roman family, a girl named Cecilia was born. From a very young age, she was known for her piety and grace. While other girls of her status might have been concerned with silks and parties, Cecilia had a deeper calling. In her heart, she secretly consecrated herself to God, vowing to remain a virgin and dedicate her life entirely to her faith. This was a private, profound promise between her and her Creator. As she grew, she spent her days in prayer and contemplation, and it's said that she could hear heavenly music in her soul, singing praises to God with an inner voice that no one else could hear. This deep, personal connection to divine harmony is the very root of her association with music. However, as was the custom for noble women of her time, Cecilia's future was not her own to decide. Her parents, unaware of her secret vow, arranged a marriage for her to a young pagan nobleman named Valerian. You can imagine the turmoil in Cecilia's heart. She was betrothed to a man she respected, but her soul belonged to God. On her wedding day, as the musicians played and the guests celebrated, Cecilia wasn't listening to the earthly tunes. Instead, she was singing in her heart, praying to God to protect her and keep her vow pure. This iconic moment, singing to God amidst her own wedding music, is one of the most powerful images associated with her, forever linking her to the patronage of music. When the wedding ceremony was over and Cecilia was finally alone with her new husband, Valerian, she knew she had to reveal her secret. This was a moment of incredible risk. She could have been rejected, shamed, or worse. With immense courage and faith, she turned to Valerian and said, "I have a secret to tell you. I have an angel of God watching over me, who guards my body. If he sees you touch me with anything but pure, respectful love, he will strike you down. But if you respect my vow, he will love you as he loves me." Valerian was, understandably, stunned and skeptical. A secret angel. It sounded like a fantasy. He demanded to see this angel for himself. Cecilia, wise and patient, knew that faith could not be forced. She told him, "If you want to see the angel, you must first be cleansed. You must go to the Appian Way, find the holy bishop named Urban, and be baptized. Once you are purified and believe, you will see the angel." Valerian, moved by her sincerity and perhaps a bit of divine curiosity, agreed. He trusted his new wife and set out on the journey she described. Valerian found Bishop Urban, who was living in hiding with other persecuted Christians in the catacombs outside the city. He listened to the teachings of the Christian faith, and his heart was moved. The truth of the message resonated with him, and he chose to be baptized, embracing the faith his wife held so dear. When Valerian returned home, a transformed man, he entered their chamber and saw it for himself. There, standing next to Cecilia, was a glorious angel, radiating a divine light. The angel held 2 crowns, one of roses and one of lilies, symbols of martyrdom and purity. He placed a crown on Cecilia's head and the other on Valerian's, blessing their unique and holy union. Valerian's transformation didn't end there. He rushed to tell his own brother Tiburtius about the miracle he had witnessed. Tiburtius, like Valerian before him, was initially doubtful, but Valerian's passionate testimony and Cecilia's gentle explanations of her faith eventually won him over. Tiburtius also sought out Bishop Urban, was baptized, and he too was blessed with the ability to see Cecilia's guardian angel. Now, the 2 brothers, once pagan noblemen, were united with Cecilia in a shared, fervent faith. Together, they dedicated their wealth and their lives to serving the poor and secretly giving proper burials to Christian martyrs, an act strictly forbidden by Roman law. Their secret ministry, however, could not remain hidden forever. The Roman prefect, Tertius Almachius, was a cruel and greedy man who ruthlessly enforced the anti-Christian laws. When he heard of these two noble brothers who were openly defying Roman authority and giving away their fortune, he was furious. He had them arrested and brought before him. Almachius demanded that they renounce their faith and make a sacrifice to the Roman gods. Valerian and Tiburtius, their faith now as strong as Cecilia's, refused. They would not betray their god. The prefect, enraged by their defiance, condemned them to death. Before they were executed, they managed to convert their own executioner, a man named Maximus, who witnessed their courage and declared his own belief in Christ. Tragically, all three men, Valerian, Tiburtius, and Maximus, were martyred for their faith. Now, Almachius turned his attention to Cecilia. He knew she was the source of the brothers' conversion and the inheritor of their family's fortune, which he coveted. He had her arrested and brought to trial. He expected to find a frightened young woman, but instead, he was met with calm, unshakable resolve. He commanded her to sacrifice to the pagan gods, but Cecilia simply debated with him, her words filled with logic and divine wisdom, making a fool of his arguments. Frustrated and humiliated by her intellect and her refusal to bow, Almachius ordered her to be executed in her own home. His chosen method was gruesome. He ordered her to be locked in her own bathhouse, with the furnaces stoked to an unbearable heat, intending for her to be suffocated by the steam and hot air. For a full day and night, the fires blazed. When the guards opened the door, they expected to find her lifeless. Instead, they found Cecilia sitting peacefully, not even a drop of sweat on her brow, completely unharmed. It was a miracle. The intense heat had not touched her. Furious at this divine intervention, Almachius ordered a more direct approach. He sent an executioner to her home to behead her. The executioner, perhaps shaken by her divine protection, struck her neck 3 times with his sword, but he was unable to sever her head. Roman law forbade a 4th strike, so he fled, leaving Cecilia grievously wounded but still alive. For 3 days, Cecilia lay on the floor of her home, bleeding but conscious. Christians flocked to her side, and she continued to preach and comfort them, a final act of devotion. She distributed all her remaining possessions to the poor and asked that her home be converted into a church. After 3 days of this final, living martyrdom, she passed away, her life a testament to the strength of her faith. She was buried by Bishop Urban and his deacons in the catacomb of Calixtus, among the popes and martyrs. For centuries, the story of Saint Cecilia was passed down, her legend growing with time. In the year 822, Pope Pascal I had a dream in which Saint Cecilia appeared to him and revealed the location of her tomb, which had been lost over the centuries. Following the vision, he found her body in the catacomb of Praetextatus, not Calixtus, and she had been moved there to protect her from invaders. Miraculously, her body was found to be incorrupted, hadn't decayed. He had her remains moved to a church in the Trastevere district of Rome, which he rebuilt in her honor. Today, it is the Basilica of Santa Cecilia in Trastevere. The story doesn't end there. In 1599, during a renovation of this same basilica, her sarcophagus was opened once again, and again, witnesses, including a sculptor named Stefano Madino, were stunned to find her body still perfectly preserved. She was lying on her right side, as if asleep, with the wounds from the sword still visible on her neck. Maderno was so moved by the sight that he carved a marble statue depicting her exactly as he saw her. This beautiful, poignant statue lies before the main altar of the church, to this day, a powerful reminder of her story and her peaceful, saintly death. So, why music? While the earliest accounts of her life don't explicitly name her as a musician, her legend is woven with the threads of sound and song. From singing in her heart at her wedding to hearing celestial choirs, her connection to music is one of the soul. She represents the idea that the purest music is the praise we offer to God, whether it's with an instrument, our voice, or the silent song in our hearts. She teaches us that music has the power to transcend the earthly realm and connect us to the divine. This is why, since the 15th century, she has been venerated as the patron saint of musicians, composers, and all who make and love music. Churches, choirs, and music academies all over the world are named in her honor. The story of Saint Cecilia is more than just a historical or religious account. It's a timeless anthem of courage in the face of tyranny, of purity in a world of compromise, and of a faith so profound that it could turn a pagan nobleman into a saint and a bathhouse into a sanctuary. Her melody lingers, a reminder that even in the most difficult moments, we can all have a song in our hearts. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the life of Saint Cecilia. If you found her story as inspiring as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of incredible figures from history. And I'd love to know, what's your favorite piece of music that feels truly divine? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep listening for the music in your own life.